Welcome our viewers on today's interview. Today we are going to interview Raphael Ereme. He has lived in Vietnam for 6 years. He's a counselor, he's a Christian teacher, he's a character education instructor. And today, all of our audience will agree that African migration is to a large number in Asia and in some other part of the world. Raphael, please, what is your take on this issue?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Awele, for this opportunity to air my view on this issue. Migration is a normal thing, it's historical, it's biblical, and it has been there for years. Many other people of different tribes also migrate, but it's worrisome that Africans are moving largely to Asia, to America, to Europe. And the core reason, sincerely, would be economic issues. When the economy is not doing well, people want to earn a living in other parts of the world. But I think that the family is the core reason why many of our young youths are traveling. The family is not really helping us here because the core foundation is missing. Many African homes are becoming unstable, and many families want their children to go abroad. Many instances years ago, you discover that so many African families, seeing other young youths return back home, will encourage their young children to travel. In some part of the nation of Nigeria, there are people that even prepare their young daughters and their sons to travel to parts of Europe just to make money. They don't care how this money is made. They don't want to know how the children make money. All they want is them to bring back money, and it's not proper. In fact, if you discover, you find that many of these children are sponsored by their parents to travel to Europe and to Asia without knowing the reason why the children are traveling. They know there might be no job, but they don't want to care. So the family is so important here. We have to deal with the issue of the family system. In as much as we're not against people migrating, but it would be very wrong for parents and homes to allow their young boys and girls to travel to Europe and Asia without a reason.
Thank you very much, Raphael. You mentioned that family is a big problem. Can you please tell us some steps families take in order to sponsor their children abroad?
Well, based on my job, I can only talk about cases I've gotten involved in. There are cases whereby parents will have to sell their lands just to sponsor their children to Europe and to Asia. Imagine a family selling a land for about 2 million naira to sponsor a young man to Asia. To do what? I don't know. I believe with 2 million naira, a young man can start a business in Nigeria. You send him with 2 million naira to Asia, to a country where there is no job waiting for him. He comes there, he's stranded, no visa, no accommodation. And because of the pressures from back home, he's forced into crime. He's forced into things that are negative. And the family most times are not aware. Even if they are aware, some are not concerned. Because all they just know is that their child is bringing back money. And they hardly question these young boys, where did they get the money from? So I think the family will have a big part in either trying to make our youths do better things or to curb the excesses of our people in Asia and Europe and America.
Please, for the interest of our viewers, can you give us some background information about Nigerian families? I know that there are first class, middle class, and a lower class. When it comes to the migration, which class of family do you think that are involved in migration more?
Without being told, this is mainly from Well, there's only like middle class anyway. It's either you are rich or you are poor. Majorly, it's from the so-called poor homes. So-called poor homes. So many young boys in Asia going through so many things, which I know you are aware of. So many of these people are basically from poor homes. And when they come to Europe, the first objective in their mind is to make money. Because indirectly, they were sponsored to come and make money. The business issue that they've come for isn't the main purpose. And when you begin to push children out of your home, you begin to remind them, show them their colleagues and friends who are making money. You are emotionally being insensitive to their future. Many of our young boys and girls have been imprisoned in Asia, imprisoned in Europe for drugs, for internet offenses. And why? Because back home there's pressure. Pressure to satisfy the parents' demands or those that sponsored them. And this is not good for us. We are in Asia. We are the ones here. So we see what these young boys go through. They go through so much, all because they want to earn a living to please those back at home.
Thank you very much. As a counselor, I'm sure someone must have told you an experience. Is there anyone that you can read briefly, just mention a glimpse of today of what the person have to do in order to stay in this country or to go back home?
Well, I'm bound by client teacher relationship. I'm not supposed to disclose any of those things like a counselor and counselee. But what I want to let you know is that there are many young men who, when they came here, they mentioned that either their uncles or their in-laws or their parents sponsored them here, and they just cannot go back empty-handed. And the jobs they found here wasn't enough to pay back those money that was spent on them. So they had no other options than to do bad business or go into negative things. That is what we are talking about here. Because many of them were not properly informed. They just came down to Asia after getting promises of job. And these jobs are not available in Asia. The best job in Asia for Africans, they are mainly teaching jobs. And only those who are qualified can get these jobs. The majority of those that come to Asia are uneducated. They are illiterate. And there's no other job for them but to do criminal activities.
Thank you very much, Alice. As we've seen that the fundamental problem is the family. And do you think there is any information, do you think there is any way those parents or those people can be educated to know all these things before they can start sending their children or their relatives abroad and mainly to Asia?
Well, it's information. Information is very, very key here, very important. If families, before allowing your child to travel, either with an agent or with a courier, know where your child is going to. For example, somebody tells you, I'm taking your child to Italy. Ask the person, what is my child going to do in Italy? What job is available? But unfortunately, some homes don't care. Some don't mind if it's prostitution. Some don't mind if it's negative business. All they want is the money. But I think the government has to come in here. In as much as you want to allow people to travel, we have to educate them. Where are you going to? What is your reason for traveling out? Do you want to go to school? Want to look for a job? What is your qualification? What are you really going to do abroad? Because many of them come here, they have no skill, nothing to do. And when you are far away from home, it's a very difficult experience. So you are forcing them into doing negative things because they were not informed properly. So please, the parents need to do a lot. Our homes need to give our children basic training, contentment, education, and make them to realize that the money they are spending to sponsor their children abroad could be used to do businesses back home. Seriously, good businesses. Because if you are saying that, oh yes, I spent 1.5 million for my child to travel abroad, and then he brings back maybe $50,000, not every one of them gets so lucky. A lot of them are in jail. Some are killed. Some die. So it's not a sweet experience.
Thank you very much. At least we are going to be able to continue this interview next time, and next time we'll be able to go into more details about some factors that is making it difficult for people to stay back home and choose the option of just traveling abroad. So thank you very much, Raf, for this audience.
Thank you, Awili.
Thank you. Please subscribe to get current updates on our interviews. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.